A pleasant good afternoon to everyone, and welcome to another episode of Team Unity, TUD's Roundtable Discussion. In today's discussion, we will get a bit into the diaspora vote and the electoral reform agenda, and we'll touch a bit on marketing, the manufacturing processes, and TUD's vision for marketing. We'll talk a bit about the business climate in Dominica and our vision for better business environment on the TUD-led administration. And of course, like to welcome Professor Bruno, fresh from his peppery program on his platform. I see you converted into ministerial wear.
Carlos, man, if you follow me, you will realize how it's done, And I know you're following, so you're good to go. Yeah, one of the things that you do in terms of appearance, you always turn out and you always appear because you never know when the light is going to flash on you. And I cannot be here and not turn out. I don't. You cannot wear the same outfit to the same event. You can embellish it somehow, which is what I did to make a statement and to give you my new energy, so to speak. Because yes, I had some energy coming from my program, and as I said on my program a while ago, I could have gone on for another hour and just keep building audience and keep it going. But I like to stop at an hour and just do the 1 hour. That's to me, that's just enough. So different vibes. I promoted that we will be talking about communities idea, yeah, and I'm here to assist. So let me know whatever you want me to answer. Just let me know and let's do it together, my friend.
Yes, so bro, we our points of discussion today. We're talking about the diaspora votes. Now,
Mhm.
TUD has some ideas for the diaspora participation in the general election whenever they are called in the future. Um, yes, this has been a very hot topic as of late, and we cannot but not put our voice to the discussion. Let people know where we stand on certain things, and of course, we side with the people that this is not a pressing priority as relates to the interest of the general populace. It is something that the populace is interested in, but in order of importance, the financial matters are what people are more interested in. Everyone is it wants to know where the next meal is coming from, and school is opening. Where what am I going to do to buy the remainder of the books that I have to send Johnny to school? I need to buy a new school shoe, a new school bag. Boy, and that little salary there not enough. Boy, what can I do, boy? We need to look at those things. So yes, Alex,
So you listening to my
let's get
messages? You listening to my messages, man, partner? How you have access to my messages now?
say again.
How comes you have access to my messages now? What you're saying there is exactly the conversation I'm having with people in.
Oh well, well, bro, these are the kind of discussions that persons are having on a regular basis. If
Okay.
I engage a normal Dominican, and it's an ongoing process. I meet with people every day. I talk to them as I move around Dominica, as you're aware, and the discussions that we have is totally unrelated to electoral reform.
Yeah,
The
the
average
people,
person,
yeah, the average person does not really worry too much about that. It is interesting, and then the people who are worried about it are the parties, because that is what might help some or hurt some chances to serve. And those people, parties who are interested, are trying to tell the people they should be interested in it. And on many occasions, have telling people, come, let's protest for it. you're not going to get that support because the people are not with it. People do not mind it resolved, but most importantly, as you said, is how am I going to buy school books and the little things I need for 5 children? Some people have 2 children, some people have 3. And Carlos, I have had many of such calls. Some I will respond to in the best way that I can, and some that I just can't because there is just too much need in Dominica now to be fighting over the things that some parties keep fighting over and keep losing the fight over because people are not with it. And as a movement, a party that's interested in office, we have some views when it comes to the reform, especially with the Dominicans who live overseas. And our view is that every Dominican who is eligible to vote should vote. We have no issues with people voting. It must just be done in a way that is fair for all.
Mm.
And it cannot be that if you are not legally able to vote, that you find yourself voting. So do it by the books, do it well. And if one person from Dominica who resides in some other country and probably is still qualified to vote can vote, all should. A group should not be brought down every time. And those who really want to come is not brought down. It does not make it fair. So our first view when it comes to diaspora vote is that every Dominican who live overseas, as long as they are qualified to vote based on the law, should be given an opportunity to vote.
But Alex, you see my notes, man. You see,
Well, it
you
must
see.
be. We see each other notes. But Carlos, it is important that the Dominicans understand that our movement is for people voting, not against people voting. We have no issues with Dominicans who now reside somewhere and still qualify to vote voting. The only issue we have is that because some people have the means to bring some down, they bring in the one set down all the time and the other set not getting to come. So we have ideas as to how the other set can possibly stay where they are if they can vote and vote for who they want to. Because, Carlos, one of the points that I think those who do not want Dominicans overseas to vote is the point I think they're missing is there are more Dominicans overseas who want to vote against that government right now.
That is correct.
The
That
few
is
they
correct.
have, the few the party bring them to vote that's what they can get to ensure
Yes.
that they go over the
The
threshold
threshold.
in a few constituencies. A 19-2 victory in Dominica is not a true reflection of what Dominicans want. It's how the things is done. But there are more Dominicans living overseas, maybe 5 times, 10 times more, that want a new government. So we cannot be against Dominicans overseas voting. We have ideas and we want to propose those ideas. And we hope Dominicans overseas are listening. Or those of us who are listening can share it with Dominicans overseas. We
Or
want you
if,
to vote.
you see, Alex, I speak with Dominicans who are out of Dominica on a regular basis. Apart from you, I mean, we talk regularly. But besides you, I talk to a lot of Dominicans who reside abroad, and a lot of them tell me similar sentiments. Carlos, I would love to be back home, but simply the environment is not conducive for me to be at home and working. Those who have gone and better their education, they studied, they know better now how to do things, how to live life, they have experienced a larger market. They would like to have that kind of the ability to live, not necessarily to live the exact same way, but to do things better than how it was before. And they have told me straight, they don't see themselves being able to do that under this present administration.
Good. So
So, so they want change.
exactly. So do not frustrate them. And I hear parties say, no, this, that. No, Dominicans can vote. There are Dominicans who want to vote. So, Carlos,
However, it has to be done properly.
yeah,
Let us
it must be
let us
legal,
make sure
it must
it's
be
not.
fair,
Yep.
and it must be free for all, not free for some who always get the excursion to come down to vote. I am not against them getting the excursion. I'm not even fighting the legality of that. But it cannot be that one set always takes the trip. The few, the handful of you, to cleverly be placed in areas, to sway the results. And there are hundreds more, probably thousands more, who, if they got a chance, would give the other side a landslide. But it is how I think we tell of our intention that can throw off people. So in TUD, Carlos, we believe that every bona fide Dominican citizen who is eligible to vote should be able to vote in a fair, free, and legal system. And our idea about making it free and fair for all is one, Carlos, we have economic problems in Dominica. Our tax threshold is, we are, right now, you saw the last budget, and the government has all but crippled Dominicans with taxes. Taxes on money that going in, money that's coming out, taxes on, I mean, everything. Even the credit union,
Credit unions,
they threaten to tax. And I think they will do because they have
they
no
will
choice.
do it. They will do it.
The same way they're going to put a golf course in the gardens. Boy, that's not Lord. Boy, guide me.
I think some people spoke to put some common sense in his head. I don't think they'll go ahead with that.
Well, I hope not, because I saw my good friend, a good doctor, circulated something and said he's tired of trying. I hope at least that got to him, because you cannot tell me, man, you can be so counter people to want to do what you just want to do. We're not in Korea as yet. That's not your country. So with that said, our view would be, we have economic problems. We have more Dominicans living overseas than in Dominica. And those of us who live overseas try our best to help our family home with remittances and everything else that we do. So the government should make it formal for people like me and others who live overseas, invite us to be involved in the economy. Put us on the tax grid. So we would declare the money. If you want to vote in our country and you're not living in our country, like the Americans are doing in America.
Yeah, we want to model everything after America. America sends absentee ballots to their citizens. Let us do the same thing.
Do what the Americans are doing. And I heard a very disingenuous person come on the program to say he in America getting absentee ballot, and he don't see why he can get it, why he can be brought down to vote and thing in America, in Dominica. The only thing he did not say is that there's a system in place in America that keep tracks of the citizens wherever they are.
Yep.
And those
So let us know where everybody is. Let us know the same way our banks have to report how much money the Americans are making in Dominica. But recently I opened a new account, and one of the first things they asked me is, are you a green card holder? Do you have US citizenship? Why do you think that is, Brother Bruno?
they have to report on your money that you have in the bank to the IRS.
Voila.
So
Voila. Let's do the same thing.
same thing we have to do. So all our Dominicans, especially those of you who are traveling home, instead of taking the trip home every time, you qualify already? Okay, I agree, qualify. I agree to be on the tax base, and I'm challenging our governments to do that. And that would solve your economic problem, and it will take care of the irregularities in the vote to make it more fair. So if I want to vote, one of the qualifying things if I live overseas to get a ballot,
Pay your taxes, Alex.
yes,
File your Dominican taxes. As
that's
long and now there are different thresholds for persons who making certain amount of money to pay taxes. Your salary in America compared to a regular person's salary, you have some significant tax to pay on that, you know.
But Carlos, it's true. It's true. I will not say, get personal, but there are many Dominicans that makes much more money than even the president of Dominica a month. and the presidents make $30,000 a month, or prime minister makes about maybe 8,000. Chicken feed for some people. So if you want to vote, and I think you should want to, declare what you make and pay taxes in Dominica. Not a barrel or 2 barrels you send in. Be a tax-paying Dominican who resides overseas. You also pay into the Social Security scheme. And any and every Dominican who does that can get an absentee ballot. That's what America does. Because the American citizens, wherever they travel, have to declare. If they don't declare, and Uncle Sam find them, they're in trouble. And I say people are getting away, people are getting away. But my Lord, that is the answer to our problem. And if all of us that want to pay into the tax every month, we would maybe get $300 million just on taxes from Dominicans to overseas every year, maybe more than that. The people who are living overseas paying tax to Dominica would pay the entire budget of the country, and Dominicans' tax would go down. The domestic tax would be lower. So that is what the government has to do. And there is one more consultation in the diaspora. And I'm hoping that would give you some incentive to stand up and echo that view. And we as a party interested in government, when we get there, we will work with you to have you pay the tax, have you in the Social Security, and anybody now can get an absentee, because you want to modernize, let's modernize. There's nothing difficult in that. We have people in Dominica with the expertise to be able to make that happen. And if we have 50 or 20,000 Dominicans doing that, that's enough. If we have 10,000 Dominicans, that's enough. And those people will vote. That is when it becomes fair. And I'm telling you, if there are 10,000 Dominicans who are willing to vote right now, I think about 6,000 of them would vote against the present government.
Because especially when your money, your personal finances is involved, you tend to care more as to the direction that it is being spent and the way in which your government that you have a vested interest in manages the affairs of your country that you now have a financial interest in.
But of course,
Because largely most persons who leave Dominica, they go to seek a better future outside.
everyone who leaves Dominica can, almost now. Well, not all, not everyone. Some of them escape prosecution.
I have been politically correct. I don't want to.
Yeah, some
I don't
escape
want to mention everything.
prosecution.
Most.
Yes, some run away. But most people, the overwhelming majority of people will go for to better themselves. Yeah, so we are saying we can fix the problem. If you want to vote, participate, be involved. If you're living overseas and you'll not be getting involved in the economy of the country, not through remittances. Now, I agree with those that say they're supporting their family and they should vote. I agree. You should support the country, not your family.
Yeah.
If you support the nation through your inland revenue and your social security, that is when you can get a ballot, no matter where you are.
Send it to you at your registered address.
And you will send that back at the registered. There will be postmarks. It can come whatever time, and your ballots will be counted as absentee. And your vote will go towards a party in Dominica. And everybody have a fair chance to do it. Those who do not do it didn't want to vote. Whoever win because of that vote, it win. And that is the fairest thing. That is the fairest thing to do. And if the present majority government do not do that, when we get in there, we will do it.
We'll do it.
And not just that, we'll create a returning Dominicans program for Dominicans who want to come and spend money to give them incentives more than we give in the citizenship by investment people.
And Alex, stick up in here. There's been some concern about economic citizens being able to vote because they are Dominicans. And I mentioned something a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
This would solve all of that.
Yeah.
This would solve the problem of people having issues with our economic citizens coming to vote, and it would also solve the problem of persons using our passport for wrong means.
Mm-hmm.
Give them a pathway to citizenship. and not direct citizenship like is done in other countries.
In
If then we
America,
want to,
in other
if there
places.
is America we want to follow, let's do it like the Americans.
No,
Give them a card.
Carlos, no. Let's not do it like some of the Americans. But the way I see the Republican Party now running their election, I don't think
No,
we should.
but I mean, you get the point.
I get it. I get it.
You get the point.
I'm just being political here. I'm being mischievous. But it's
give,
true.
give
And
them a pathway to
and,
citizenship.
and
And if they are genuinely interested in being part of the country, they will come back. They'll come because they'll have access to the country and they will come and contribute directly to the country.
but Carlos, we do not mind anybody else acquiring Dominican citizenship. Our way would be it would be a residency program, not a program
Correct.
that you can become citizen and run and stay somewhere, never come to Dominica. To get citizenship in America, my brother, you have to be in America.
Yes.
Even if it's just for the day. Like let's say you come to join the army or play pro sports or whatever you get it for, you cannot get it and not be in America.
Well, they having interviews for citizenship on Zoom.
All I'm telling you. So
Alex,
on Zoom,
you on Zoom, you think
no,
you can do that in America?
every citizenship interview is done on the homeland, my brother. And in Dominica's case, if you want to be a citizen and you want to qualify to vote, you have to live in the area you're going to vote for at least 5 years before you go back. Now, when you go, you qualify, you're on the list. But you have to spend time because chances are, if one of those economic citizens stay in Dominica for 5 years, they might find a taste for the country and stay. So our program, when we get there, we will not just kick out the program. We will not do it as it's been done. We will make it more premium and make it more citizen oriented. Where if you come and you're interested in being a Dominican, come to Dominica. Spend some time. If you don't spend
And there
time, you don't
has
qualify.
and there has to be investment.
Yeah, and not
Investment.
passport to sell. Oh, I shouldn't say that. That's a bad word. Not passport to invest to get money to do projects. You must invest in us with money to be able to get a pathway to citizenship. Because what is happening now is people are just being given passport and said, look, whatever you're doing with it, whatever they want to call it, do it with it, raise money on it, and come and do a project. No, that is not. That's why the problem, the project have so much problems. Because I think the government really tries to do well, but it's open for abuse. When you give a man 10,000 or 5,000 or 1,000 passport and say, look, whatever you have to do to raise money, no, you should have your money and say, look, I want to be your citizen. I want to invest. I want to build a skyscraper in Dominica. Here I have $200,000, $300,000 of my money. I invest it in the consolidated funds. I'm going to be a citizen in 2, 3, 4 years' time. And that's how it should be. But the way it is right now, it's open for abuse. And that is the problem for our program. When we get in there, we will change that as well. And those economic citizens, if they get qualified to vote, they can vote. But right now, if they vote now is a problem with Carlos, because they're going to just manipulate the whole system and decide which government they want to run for
Well,
Dominica.
well, you will see not just those passenger planes coming in. You will see those private planes filling up the airport alongside the large passenger planes on election day,
That
and
can
in
be
the
a
eve-
problem.
and in the evening everybody jump and run back where they come from.
Yeah, Dominica be used like a little tropical paradise resort country for them that they own through the vote. It's vote, but they own it, and it would be we would be servant subservient to the interests. And if we're not careful, it's happening, and it cannot be right. And that is what we should take as a message with that reform, and that's what our message is. And we're hoping that at least one person in the diaspora understands it and lend us support. We are the party for the diaspora. We are the party for the youth. We are the party for the future, the party for progress. Because those that they know, they for themselves. They for
Now, with
themselves.
those plans, parties will no longer have to be flying in people because don't don't mistake that, Alex. All of the previous governments, opposition, those that have been there before us, they have done it.
Of
Even
course,
those that are crying up against it, they have done it too.
they cannot do it now, so they fighting. They have a problem because the other one that was not there. Because when the honorable prime minister got into office, I remember he had an interview, with Mr. Linton, and he
Yes,
was crying about how unfair the thing is. But he seemed to
yes.
forget. He just
He
forget
forgot.
five
He
appears.
forgot that interview he did.
He crying saying that thing should be made more fair, and he makes it more unfair. And
The
no, no,
same,
no, no. How
the
can you
same
be?
man.
How can you be that way? How can you? And then people not seeing that. I mean, people are saying it, but the people are not seeing a better chance, a better choice. That is the only hope. I think when TUD sets up and we give the people an option and the people choose not to follow our option, we can say something different. But until now, I think the people have not had that kind of choice they want to have to make a choice. Because that man was crying on TV. He always crying, saying that things are rough. And you get in there as a youth. First of all, you don't help the youth. And secondly, the problem that was a problem is worse now under your watch. Where you
Alex,
watch.
I had hope for that man,
Me too.
I had hope for that man
Me
as a youth man. That man, I didn't go to C4 but a lot of my classmates from grammar school were his students, and I still used to hang out with them. I went to tech call, so we all grouped together. So when so scary, you know
me too, I tell you, my brother.
when Mister became prime minister, I had big hope for Mister.
And the country. But look at what, and I challenge people to tell me, show me the program for youth that is helping youth. After 20 years of a youth as prime minister, what has happened to the youth? CO, which is fine, and criticism of the eyelash and the priorities. Guys, and the youth are doing what they have to do to survive and stay off the youth. Because you, Mr. Youth, didn't do anything to help them. You create a situation of enablement and entitlement. And now because on your twilight years of your politics, because you're not young in politics, you're on your way out. You're trying to blame the youth that you didn't do much for, and then you come in and give us blows at the reform thing that we had when Carlos spoke about the role that we played in the election was largely symbolic. I saw Carlos wrote his concession speech the election day before the vote was casted. All you laugh at him when he said that. And because he says it was a symbolic representation, you coming back and saying now you want to see where TUD going to get money to get TUD. Where did you get money from? When you was crying that you
He
didn't
had
have money,
money.
where you got it from? You are so short-sighted. You are so blind in your own gluttonous success. Where did you get the money from? No, I'm telling you, because you come at us, and we are a party, we are a symbol, we are registered. You don't own us. You probably own Labour, you don't own TUD. I'm telling you that the same way you got money to do what you're doing to be measured today, we will get it the same way. Because the people that giving you money are fed up with you, most of them. They just do not have another option to give the money. And when we set ourselves up properly, you will see where our money coming from. And we're going to beat you. It may not be next election, but we will beat you. Because you are not God's gift to politics in Dominica. You are not going to win forever. And you are still my friend if I told you are my friend, but it has to be said to you. And it's not that people don't like you. You have had enough 20 plus years. What else you want? The country is tired. The country will not go anywhere without you. Yes, I love you, but I love Dominica more. So watch us get set up, underestimate us still. And you will see money. If it's money you want to make this about, make it about money. But we are about love. Money can't buy the people's love. So all the money you have to throw at people there, eventually it will be just vain. Because at the end of the day, gimmicks and smiles and dance wear out. When the thing get real, people
What
turn to
you see
people.
the dimple gone already.
And that's well, yeah. I not even noticed. I never saw it in any case. But it is real time, man. It is real time. It is real time. And then he come at us, calling us by name. Where we going to get money? Like we need your. We don't want your money. It's not your money you have. It's our money. And the people like Chris Bugunu and others who are supporting us will help us. They'll give us a little 2 cents, a little 5 cents, and we will one day rise to grab control of our government. And if I have any role to
And
play in that,
put things
put
how
things in
it's
order, man,
supposed
for
to
our
be.
young people, man. For my daughter Imani to have her little salon going properly. I call her my daughter because she's my daughter. She's my goddaughter. She's my daughter. And other people who want to do things, you just sit down there, laugh,
I-
laugh.
I-
Everything is a
I-
big joke for you.
Imani, Imani,
Imani Azimi,
where's she from?
Kinfield boy. I thought you want to run in Kinfield. Oh, sorry, Bonji.
Oh,
I
I
said
want
yo.
to I want to make sure it is same Imani I thinking of.
Yes, for Ezra.
That
That's my daughter. That's
lovely girl.
my daughter. My godchild. I, I, I,
Brilliant,
I nurtured her as a baby.
brilliant child.
I want
Brilliant.
her to, because she's a
Oh, that is where she get that from. Oh,
that's my
I was
child.
I was wondering.
Yeah. Anytime you talk to her, is daddy. So I want her, man, to enjoy the rest of her youth and to develop herself. Don't leave Dominica. People like her, I'm working for. So nothing personal against our beautiful, lovely, handsome prime minister. I just want the youths to get what he got and didn't give to them.
Now, Alex, you touch on a point there, and I had a brief conversation with a business person, young business person, and just told to me that said to me, Carlos, I cannot take it any longer. I have to leave. I have to leave. I can no longer take it in Dominica. Things are not, and a lot of our Dominican people are not thinking and are not seeing things changing for the better. So she said, as a matter of fact, I don't know what you're doing there still. I know you can go. I told her, I love my country. I it's like to live in those countries overseas. But I don't think that it's better for me to be outside than for me to be home. Because even you, Alex, you living and working overseas, but you have that Dominica flag with you everywhere you go. You flying that flag every chance you get. You love your home. You would love to be back home. This is why I am here. This is why I stand up and I want to make a difference for Dominica, not just for myself, but for people like that, people like you, Alex, people like Chris Bugunu who wants to come back home, people like Petra Carbon. Good afternoon, Petra. Welcome to our our program. Thank you for tuning in, constant listener. People like Ricardo, and yes, even people like Viva Mamu, who will share our program whenever they get a chance. We want Dominica to be better.
Mhm. Well, but I'm agreeing with you, my partner. And I would advise you and anybody who believes that the best thing to do now is to leave Dominica is to think twice about it. Because, boy, sometimes leaving is not the best. Sometimes staying and fighting, no matter how hard it is better. Because when all of us who have the energy leave, Carlos, Dominica has been surrendered. And some people believe that, how many people tell me, Gaston, give up, stop. Gaston, you're wasting time. You well in your Gaston. Gaston, 90% of the people tell me that of those people who are established. But it cannot be that way. People who are making money on the backs of Dominicans are telling me, don't worry, Dominicans. I'm like, but look at Dominican just come and give you $20 there of money they don't have. They have to make a decision whether to pay light or whether to buy the medicine. They buy the medicine and the lights getting cut. And you're telling me, don't worry with them. People tell me, Alex, stay out of that. Let somebody come and fix Dominica. When they want you, they will come and pay you big money for your services. You're a bright fella. Just stay away from the politics. How can I do that when nobody's stepping up to do it? If people were stepping up and I was seeing something happening, I would stay away. But I'm not seeing anybody doing anything meaningful. But a protest, a protest, a protest, a this, a rancor, a fight. What is that going to do? So that is why I speak. And I'm speaking against the advice of some, many, I guess. And they will realize that they were wrong.
Let us
About
have let us have a national protest against the sale of botanical gardens. 8 people stand up hugging a tree.
well, the protest should be anyway. Let me not say what it should be because I'm consulting for the people. But my brother, Mr. Savre, my friend, can give some useful hints. And if anybody here wants to have a useful or a successful protest, go and speak with our president. That man understands and knows, and he might give you the ideas how to do it. But that kind of a 24-hour call for protest. So unless and until I see somebody stand up and try to do something to capture the imagination of the people, I will not stop talking. And as I have said repeatedly, it's not like I want to be it. Because if I wanted to be it, all my bills would have been paid from the last elections moment. And I would have probably been in office somewhere. Carlos, I've given you the story, you know. That is not it. I'm not looking for an easy way out. I'm looking for all of us to get a little ease up because I could have taken an ease up last election. I don't want to be okay and Dominica not okay. It was tempting. I saw the prospects, but no, my country first. So that is why I speak. And again, those professionals who are telling me, don't speak, you're a professional, you're a big this and that, you're a big title guy, so you're making, it's okay. I'm seeing what you're seeing too. And one person told me, yeah, Alex, I'm Carlos, boy, Dominica need a new thing. Wait for that new thing to come. But I'm the new thing. We are the new thing. If you look at what we did and gives us as a plan, look at TUD's plan. It's a new thing. It is what the people are asking for. Now, granted, we have a little skirmish because of me and past involvement in another thing. But people are overcoming that. It will take a little time. It will take a little time. But TUD is what it is. It is the new thing that some do not want to accept as the new thing, although they have nothing. Well, if you have something that's better than TUD, bring it out and we will dissolve our movement and yours will be the one we will work with. But bring yours out. Look at our manifesto, the only party with a manifesto last election. The only one. And there were 2 parties that contested. And Carlos, keep on recycling and reposting the manifesto every now and then, okay? Fully constituted, full color manifesto with our plans, high definition pictures, top quality work from the best designers on earth. We had a
Local, all local, printed local,
nothing came from
from
overseas.
from the hearts of locals.
And we had the capacity to print overseas, but we want, and it was cheaper, but we wanted to work in Dominica. So we had a little 2 cents. Instead of spending it and trying to go and talk and have a big loudspeaker on the road, we make a manifesto, we put it there, it will be a lasting document. So this is the new thing. And if you want to make a new one, you can still make it. But let us compare notes. Let us compare notes, man. Some people, it must be done their way or no way. Well, TUD is here and we're here to stay. We are gaining strength. We have 100 and plus votes working with. And that is the party with the second most votes in Dominica last election. No matter how you twist it and no other party but the party in power gets more votes than us. So we are the runners up. You check, Carlos?
That's correct, brother.
And we must be grateful for the 100+ people
Oh yes, oh
who voted
yes.
for us.
I have to never stop thanking the good people from Marigot, the good people from St. Joseph, Laplin, Granby, and Roseau Central.
Everywhere we got votes with. We got over 100+ with no campaign. Carlos, that can be 1,000+ next election. And maybe a 10,000 election after. You never know. You're going to cry that down and say, oh, all you contest and all it didn't show up. Really, our symbolic show was good enough for us. We have pictures of people having meetings everywhere throughout the UN, throughout the CARICOM, Commonwealth, Carlos, where again, OAS. Carlos, show them the pictures now, man. Show them the pictures now, man. We are gazetted of having participated in the election. We had people vote for us. You said we are nothing. And you that have nothing, or you choose not to have anything, you think you're better than us? No way. We are going to fight. And we have some good people who are waiting to come out to fight with us for Dominica. Look at that. 2 young, handsome men, determined, willing, fresh ideas, representing TUD. We didn't walk away and say we're not taking it because our party will not win, it's not fair. No, we knew we were going to lose. Look at that. You see the kind of a quality of futuristic t-shirts? Look at this, man. Proud people. It could be 1 vote we had gotten would be all right. And someone to come and diss our party and say, oh, we didn't get, everybody lose the deposit, but we knew that was going to happen. We contested Marigot, Carlos. Roseau, Granby,
and those who were not contesting, they were campaigning against us.
Against us with loudspeaker. Carlos, show them the loudspeaker now. No, hold back for the campaign. Before we go back and show them what they did. Calling your name, my name, the good Goliath, Jason's name, and lying about us, saying we have money from whoever we get money. And don't vote for us. So when you say don't vote for us, you say vote for the other party that you want to go and run against next time. You just see you give up you throw your hands in Laplin. You expect to win Laplin? So Carlos, it is important that people understand that we have a plan. And they're hitting us because we are effective. The Prime Minister would never speak about us and even call our name if he didn't get a little pinch. And after today, he'll get a couple more pinches, you know. That's what politics is about. Politics is a contact sport. And that's what it's about. Of course, I have admiration and respect for the man. But we want his job because he's not doing a good job with it. He's doing a lousy job. He's been in for too long and probably he lost his vision. And I expect him to come at me, you know, and say everything that they can remember about me. But I don't do those kind of politics.
Yeah, they're already coming at me. So I made it clear to them that, yes, I want your job. You're not doing a good job. I want to replace you.
So there's nothing wrong in that. And there's nothing wrong in wanting to get the job of the people who have the job. Nothing wrong. And some their supporters must appreciate that because they took job from people who had job before. Why can't somebody take it from them? If they are doing well, and if the majority of young people, if we had a number of new businesses and things were happening, fine, we're all happy. But we are not.
Businesses are closing down.
So our plan is to hope that we have more Dominicans involved. So Dominicans overseas, we want you involved. We want you to vote. First of all, those of you who are not on the list, come to Dominica. Because I know people who have been registered outside of Dominica. You know? I know. And that is unfair. That's not right. And there's even suggestion that people should confirm people on the list by having the electoral office travel
Travel.
to do that. But you cannot make that a law. The jurisdiction of the election is always the home front. You ever see America electoral people going overseas to register people?
Alex, that is crazy. That
And
is
who
crazy.
are you going to go to every city, every country? No, you can't afford to do that. A poor country like our country financially. So you stay home, keep Mr. Ian home, and whoever want to be on the list, come home.
Pay him properly. Give him the adequate staff that he needs to do his work so that we can have a clean list. Remove all the dead people.
All.
Remove all the dead people
And
and let us have a proper electoral process.
if you win after that, fine. But do it the right way. You cleanse the list now. You send Mr. Ian Anthony to make sure that the people on the list are in Dominica. And if you want to check to see whether they have been there within 5 years, you can do that. Your choice. Do the work. Take out the dead, take out those who have really been gone. Like I know my partner, I don't want to call his name, but he has been gone for 15 years and he has never turned back. His name should not be on the list still. And the last time I checked in Wesley, his name is there. And he has no interest in coming back anyway. So do what is right.
You sure he didn't vote?
The man has not come. Well, I don't know if he voted. I didn't see whether he voted, but I know he has not come back, and he has no intention of coming back.
Right, but he may have voted.
Well, that's another thing you bring up. I must look for it too.
Alex, I think we have exhausted this topic. Let us stop before we have a few minutes before we end the program. Let us talk a bit on manufacturing and the business environment in Dominica.
Okay. Sure.
You want to take the lead on that?
Well, I think the economy of our country should be planted in manufacturing and in indigenous industries as much as possible. You cannot plant your industry on passport, economic citizenship. It is a recipe for crash. So we believe the focus has to be when we get there, because those people who are there now they're not going to do that. They will do lip service to it. They will sound nice as if they want to, but their heart is not in it. They are in for too long to realize what is necessary to be done for the people. So industry, we think. And I see it all the time. You know what I saw yesterday, Carlos? People selling on the sidewalk? Kenips. Kenips, Carlos, in little bags, little bags like that, around 15 or 10 for $5. 5 US.
But
You don't have
but
Kenips on
Alex, they have Kenips selling on Amazon. They have Kenips selling. People counting Kenips to sell on Amazon, 8 and 9 US for a little parcel.
my brother. Peppermints, extra strong, and all these things can be produced in Dominica by somebody, let's say, Pishley. Packaged, shipped out. By next day, that in Miami, that sold out, money back to Dominica, foreign exchange, on peppermint, ginger drops, and those little things that we make so well. All you need is a space, a few people, a nice packaging, a market, the possibilities to get these things in and out. Government, we will put that in place. We are thinking of big things and the little things that make big things. So as long as you can get exports and you can have foreign exchange coming in, the economy is almost fixed. So like Dashing, Carlos, you introduced me to a young man who has a line of products that is, simple thing. You have Dashing going making ding dang in Dominica. Don't have it go to waste. Because if Dashing stay too long, you need to turn in. So after 9 months, you harvest the Dashing. You get a few peelers, because when I peel a breadfruit or a Dashing, I peel it nice and round, my brother.
You still know how to do that now?
Are you joking? You cut that in a few twash. You put that in a bag with a nice label, sealed.
Vacuum seal.
You put the ingredients on it, product of Dominica, you freeze that. that can stay there for, well, at least a year. Give it a year shelf life. And you ship out 10,000 packages to a Caribbean restaurant. So when you cook a dashing, you feel you eat a Dominica dashing. My brother, the local population alone will send back at least a few 100,000 US into Dominica. And that's just dashing, we can do it for yam, for plantain, and any and everything else. Because it is difficult to ship with the skin. But if you clean it
Yes.
and you make sure you show the packaging and the thing, we're good
Mm-hmm.
to go. So Carlos, this young man who's doing it is someone we will want to work with. Hopefully give him a platform too. And when we get into office, he will be one of the consultants on the new sort of wave of manufacturing. We don't have to make steel and blocks. We can do that too. But we are an agricultural country. We can sell from vetiver to lemongrass to broom. You see the brooms, ballet savan?
Yes.
That is a big thing, my brother. We can package broom and sell.
You know what somebody contacted me about? Somebody else telling me, someone calling from the US, and they were talking to me about a few things. One, they ask about fish. Two, they ask about flour. Not just the regular flour that we have. They wanted to use our our food like the dashing, the cassava, and so on to make a flour that they could use for, because there are persons who cannot take in the regular flour. But if we have an alternative, places like Whole Food would readily sell those things.
But of course, they call it yuca in America. So yuca flour, toloma, tanya flour, banana flour, all this kind of a flour would fetch premium prices. Premium. And there's so much free land in Dominica that you can do that, a few acres of those things. And all you do, you get a little grinding mill and you turn this into flour. Carlos, that is where we're going to focus. And within a year of TUD in office, we would have a number of these little enterprises where young people like my pal rep, what's her name again? My pal rep, Lakia.
Like here,
Young people like her who was doing her little thing, I hope she continues it. I hope she doesn't get carried away with that power that she just was granted or gifted. Because I think she's an enterprising person. And she could be a good politician too. I see she was planting flowers in Calibichi on the weekend. But the point I'm making is people like her can go places with the incentives that we will give them. And I have no problem working with her in government as well. So while she's there, she can probably just stay there, just change allegiance if she has to. Nothing wrong in that, like here. Nobody owns you, my pal rep. Nobody owns anybody in government, especially after for so long. It's time for a new vibes. But people like you can be a politician and still be a business person and benefit. And we are the team that's going to do that for you, Miss Lakia, and other young Dominicans who want to do business in Dominica. So that is what our focus is going to be about, greening the economy and creating more indigenous sort of business where more young people will get involved, doing things and selling things. The bike shops and those things will make money. The cannabis will become a major industry, not legalized in Dominica, but selling products, high grade Dominican marijuana, cannabis, naturally, organically grown, with the oils and everything to make foreign exchange. So we are not going to say that every young person can smoke and no, no, no. We are saying we are going to create the possibilities of an industry where young people mainly make the millions by cultivating some large acres of land of high grade legally.
and marijuana is a thing that can grow almost anywhere.
There'll be a sample plot maybe right along the roadside so people can pass and see it. Of course, you'll have to do security and whatever, lights and so people can go and steal. But that thing of making that a taboo is a herb that grows like every other herb. We will embrace it. with no ambiguities. We're not going to speak quietly about it. We will make marijuana a big enterprise in Dominica, not legalized on the island, but as an export product to make plenty money coming into Dominica. And there's no ambiguity about it. So nobody should misquote us and say we are going to spoil people by having marijuana on the streets. That's not what we want to do. We want to make money from it as a
But
country.
there are persons who it's a very large industry with multiple products. So not just the marijuana, but we can also look at doing aggressive coconut planting program, and not just coconuts,
Cocoa
grape, grapefruits,
and all the
oranges,
that we cut down
cocoa,
and we lost. So in 15, 20 years' time, that will be back in bloom.
and even before that, because Alex, there are ways of getting those things to grow a lot faster through grafting.
Yeah,
You understand? So
yeah.
and as they grow, they bear, and we can start reaping from. Because I was speaking to a young man who was a juicing enterprise, and one of his issues that he has is that, well, for one, logistics is a major issue, but the other issue is the fact that pricing for him versus pricing for the hucksters, and the availability of the raw materials when the hucksters are around. Because obviously the hucksters will fetch a higher price on products. So the farmers will be more eager to sell to the hucksters as compared to the person who has to use it and go into a manufacturing process, which obviously costs some money, and to make the product be more affordable for the end user, they would naturally seek to get better pricing. So that can be solved easily if we plant more. We plant
It,
more
it
and
is
a larger variety of products.
it is that simple. It is that simple. We are an agricultural haven. That is the saving grace of our country. You cannot go wrong by cultivating food. Easy. So with that and the little enterprise, the corporations mixing and supporting this, that's how Dominicans can flourish. And that is our ideas, Carlos. We presenting them. That is the fresh politics that we bring. No time to go and méprise and say who is that and who is Cabal and who is. No, we're not in that. All labor rights are our friends. And the other members of other parties are our friends as well. But we love Dominica first and we want to put Dominica first. That's how it is. And Carlos, I think is our time. I don't know if you have
Yes, this is our time.
any
Thank you
comment.
to those who have tuned in. Sister Petra, Carbon George, Ricardo Sentami, and others who have tuned in. Um,
Any major comments, question for you, Carlos? Any?
well, Petra has been putting some comments there. Yes.
Why you never put them up and read them now, Carlos? Why you trying them, man?
No man, no man. No.
You
I
don't
would
care.
like to rebrand Dominica as a nature isle, promoting local dishes and introduce new products using only homegrown produce. I went to the airport in Fort Lauderdale and had plantain chips as a side order with sandwiches.
Well, Petra, you know where your family is. So stay close to your family and let's do it together. But it's true. And I'm seeing more and more of the Dominican type products available in certain places where you would least expect. Carlos, they never used to sell back and necks in America. You always had the other parts of the chicken. Right now, backs and necks cannot stay on the shelf
Oh, really?
because some people who travel and ate Palau and other places in Dominica came back and say how good that is. So things that they would discard and sent to the third world. Now they are
Yes.
keeping it. So backs are expensive now in Dominican necks because of the demand for it in the other countries.
And before we leave, let just you on the back and neck, you on the back and neck topic. It brings me back to the idea of the abattoir which we have wasting, covered with grass. Many people want to expand their poultry farms, but the problems that they have and our short-sighted government refuse to address is the problem of the cost of feed. The cost of feed is affecting the sector very badly, and we need to address that.
Well, we'll address it. Dominicans just have to wait a little longer. Skranta has a song, Hold On Dominica, hold on, just a little longer, and we will fix those problems. And if that message that we have here is gotten to the people, Carlos, we will be fine. Because people will realize that we know what we're talking about. So get people to hear what we are doing here. Okay, Carlos? That's your job. And I think we
With
should.
that, folks, we like to call it a afternoon or once a week 1 hour engagement with you guys, and we will join you next week, same time, same social media platforms, bringing the message of hope. Team Unity Dominica is here to offer. Thank you, Mr. Bruno, and our viewers for viewing, and especially Sister Petra for commenting. And see you there at the next appointed time.